Good evening. My name is Wadzanai Sansole and you're watching Newsplus right here on ZTN Prime. These are your headlines this evening. As we count down to the Heroes and Defence Forces Day's commemorations, we give you the latest on the preparations, with President Emmerson Mnangagwa expected to honour families of fallen heroes. We shall also give you highlights from the exclusive interview with the outgoing European Union Ambassador, Jobst von Kirchmann, who reflected on strengthened relations between the bloc and Zimbabwe. Stay tuned to Newsplus for the latest on investigations into a case where a tout is accused of raping a grade 7 pupil. Police say they are pursuing leads on the suspect, who remains at large. And in sport, host Zimbabwe will compete in Group A at the 2026 Total Energies CAF Under-17 Africa Cup of Nations COSAFA qualifiers, taking place in Harare from September 11 to 2025. Now we take a closer look at the stories making the headlines. And we start with President Mnangagwa is expected to present national flags to family representatives of 4 national heroes who were posthumously declared. These are Benjamin Borombo, retired Brigadier General Lamek Francisco Mutanda, John Mbedzi, and Jairus Jiri. The presentation of flags will be done during the Heroes' Day commemorations set for next week. And Information Minister Jenfan Muswere told journalists that a total of 223 families of fallen heroes and heroines will attend this year's main event of the Heroes' Day commemorations that are set for the National Heroes Acre.
Cabinet agreed to change the theme to Zimbabwe Defence Forces, guaranteeing peace and stability for the attainment of Vision 2030. Meanwhile, the Zimbabwe Defence Forces Day Community Assistance Week commenced on the 28th of July 2025 and will end on the 7th of August 2025. Rehearsals for military parade and military displays are currently underway at Rufaro Stadium. Selected entertainment groups will also perform during the event, while soccer match between Zimbabwe Defence Forces select team and the reigning Zimbabwe Premier Soccer League champion Simba Bora team together. Preparations are at an advanced stage for this soccer tournament. Meanwhile, significant progress has been made in terms of the preparations for the 46th Independence Day and Children's Party celebrations at Mapisa in Matobo district in Matabeleland South Province.
The Information Minister also revealed that Cabinet had approved the review of licenses, permits, levies and fees subject to refinements in the agriculture sector, focusing on livestock, dairy farming and stock feeds subsectors. This follows President Mnangagwa's directive for government ministries, departments and agencies to review downward levies and fees charged to businesses.
In fulfillment of last week's Cabinet directive and His Excellency the President Dr. E.D. Mnangagwa's instruction, Cabinet considered and approved the review of licenses, permits, levies and fees subject to further refinements in the agricultural sector, focusing on livestock, dairy farming, stock feeds subsectors. This is also in line with the implementation of the ongoing case of ease of doing business reforms, which aims to reduce the cost of doing business and enhancing economic growth in the Zimbabwean economy.
Now here's a quick glance at the post-cabinet media briefing highlights. Now, moving on, trade between Zimbabwe and the European Union is on track to hit the 1 billion United States dollar mark, with investments and export activity seeing remarkable growth in recent years. Now, this comes as outgoing EU Ambassador Jobst van Kerkman wraps up a 3-year mission that helped deepen ties between Harare and Brussels. Our business correspondent Eben Mabunda has more.
A partnership built on trade, investment and shared development. Outgoing EU Ambassador Jobst van Kerkman, in an exclusive interview with ZTN Prime, says Zimbabwe-European Union relations have matured and are now poised for another breakthrough as trade between the two partners heads toward $1 billion.
Between Zimbabwe and the EU, we had the partnership dialogue.
Right.
In November 2024, and that again was an example of that we are able to talk to each other in a very constructive way.
Right.
In a way where we don't hold back, we say what we have to say. We might disagree, we might laugh together, we might say, no, that's not like that, but that's how it should be.
The EU is Zimbabwe's fourth largest trading partner, with total annual trade volumes exceeding $880 million. Zimbabwe's exports to the EU hit $270 million in 2024, while imports from the bloc stood at $500 million, dominated by machinery, pharmaceuticals, vehicles, chemicals, cereals, and precision equipment. Over $580 million in development programs led by Team Europe have supported Zimbabwe in areas like smart agriculture, green energy, humanitarian aid, and technical education.
Then we have trade facilitation, we have capital, $100 million on capital for Zimbabwean companies. And I reveal not a secret. Normally when our bank, the European Investment Bank, does these kind of on-lending facilities, we have maybe a 5 to 10% failure rate. In Zimbabwe,
under the Economic Partnership Agreement, Zimbabwe benefits from duty-free access to all 27 EU member states, and Europe remains the leading market for Zimbabwe's horticulture exports. Investments from the EU have jumped by 90% in 3 years, evidence of a growing economic footprint built on strengthened political relations.
During the term of the ambassador, there is 700 million which was injected in terms of agriculture, which boosted the blueberry market. Those are some of the benefits which are seen in terms of this relationship that Zimbabwe has with European Union, which is Zimbabwe's fourth largest business partner.
Experts say while momentum is growing, Zimbabwe could triple its export base to the EU. Currently, only 200 Zim companies are registered to trade with Europe, and meeting standards on traceability, sustainability, and certification could unlock more growth.
Having a good standing with European Union in Zimbabwe, it helps us with the creditors, because creditors will be looking us on our credit score as Zimbabwe, that we are a country that we can lend in terms of finances or in terms of foreign direct investment. So having European on our side or having EU on our side, it helps us in terms of business, and also it helps us in terms of our international standing.
As the EU prepares to deploy a new envoy to Harare, the diplomatic transition comes amid strengthened bilateral ties, with trade, development and investment cooperation set to grow even further. Reporting for ZTN Prime in Harare, I'm Eben Mabunda.
Eben now joins us live to crunch the figures on trade between Zimbabwe and the European Union. Over to you, Eben.
Well, good evening. Notable statistics in the trade relations between Zimbabwe and the EU, starting with what has happened over the past 3 years, where it is that bilateral trade has increased by 30% to 880 million United States dollars. Foreign direct investment going up by about the figure. And of course, this is thanks to some very strong engagements that have taken place place in the relations between the two countries, with a key agreement signed in November of 2024. Now, it would be important to note that the EU is Zimbabwe's fourth largest trading partner and the biggest uptaker of Zimbabwe's horticultural produce. It would also be important to highlight that a generous hand has been extended by the EU, with $500 million extended to the Zimbabwean government, of course, by the European Union. Now let's get into some specific figures where Zimbabwe's exports to the EU are concerned. A high of 660 million United States dollars in 2014. A key figure again in 2022, coming in at 550 million United States dollars, deeping in 2023 before rebounding to $500 million in 2024. Now, Zimbabwe predominantly exports scrap metal, and at the same time, it does export a big chunk of its horticultural produce to that particular destination. Now, we move on to the imports from the EU. You will notice that Zimbabwe in this relationship is pretty much a net exporter, a high of $300 million in 2014 and 2023, coming in at 300 million United States dollars, $270 million in 2024. Now, of note is that Zimbabwe imports vehicles, machinery, cereals, and several other products from, of course, the EU, with much room for improvement and other areas of exploration, especially where mining is concerned, with a highlight on Zimbabwe's lithium resource, where it is that Zimbabwe is the world's sixth largest lithium producer, lithium being a key ingredient in electric vehicles.
Thank you very much, Eben, for sharing those insights. Have a good evening. Now, earlier today, the Zimbabwe Council of Churches members marched and prayed at Chitungiza's Manyame Bridge, the scene of a devastating head-on collision that killed 17 people last month. This procession was a demonstration of faith, solidarity, and a call for healing among the affected families, while also raising awareness for safe driving. Our correspondent, Mirira Nsingo, was part of the march.
At least 150 people die every month in Zimbabwe in road traffic accidents. The Traffic Safety Council of Zimbabwe says most of these are a result of human error. As these roads continue to swallow many, churches have put their heads together. And the Manyame Bridge, which claimed 17 on the spot last month, has become their rallying point.
Kuitira kuti tiuye pamwe chete, tibatane pamwe chete, tichiti Mwari tinzweiwo nekuda kwetsaona dziri kuitika mumigwagwa yedu. Seke road is a very busy road, asi tinoti nekuva busy ikoko Mwari vanokwanisa kutibatsira kuti vanhu vaende kwavanoenda vachinosvika in safety.
Could this be spiritual? What more can churches do? These are questions that the Chitungiza community want answered.
Isekereka inotibata zvakanaka. Tiri kuona kuti pane mweya mumwe inofamba isina kuita zvakanaka. Toona zvakare kuti pane misikanzwa inoitwa nevachairi vedu nyangwe nemaconductors edu mukati menzira. So tauya pano sechikwata chema-mainland churches under Zimbabwe Council of Churches kuuya kuzonyengetera nokushayisa simba mweya isina maturo mukati menzira.
Just a week before this gathering, traditional healers were also at this site. The general belief is that this sin and accidents over the years here are more spiritual.
Madzinza ese tinongoti dai tawana mafundisi vauya kutibetsera kuchema hama dzedu. Naizvozvo zviri kuitwa nhasi. Hongu ndakapiwa vokero yekunzi mambo tichaungana mugouya, saka ndauya. Watiri kuchemera ndiye Mwari muridzi weupenyu. Watiri kukumbira ndiyo Jehovha muridzi weupenyu.
This is just the spiritual side of this crisis, but government remains equally concerned with accidents across the country and is working on measures to save lives.
We are also administering in terms of second road, what we are doing. We are going to be having a dedicated bus lane, and my team is seized now with that. And we are going to be widening the road again further, having more lanes. And that will be an expressway right up to Makoni section and straight up to 10 miles. And currently we are working on a marked toll gate. So you see the refurbishment of this road. And above all, the awareness through Traffic Safety Council of Zimbabwe for our drivers to exercise caution whenever they are navigating this road.
Memories of the horrific accident that claimed 17 lives at Tumiza's Miami Bridge are still vivid in this community. Perhaps divine intervention is what is needed to cleanse and heal this community. Reporting for ZTN Prime, I am Nilai.
And still to come on Newsplus, Zimbabwe's solid waste hits record high.
Government has approved a comprehensive urban state land management policy aimed at ending land baronism and restoring order to the country's chaotic urban land sector. The urban state land management policy is grounded in a comprehensive framework comprising 6 interconnected pillars designed to ensure the effective, sustainable and equitable management of urban state land. These pillars collectively address the multifaceted challenges of urban state land management by establishing a robust structure that promotes transparency, accountability, efficiency and compliance. The policy aims to foster orderly urban development, protect public interests and enhance the quality of life for urban residents while ensuring the sustainable and lawful use of urban state land. 1. Governance and decentralization. 2. Innovation and technology. 3. Procedures and processes. 4. Regulatory framework and enforcement. 5. Infrastructure development. 6. Planning and compliance. The key strategies underpinning the innovation and technology pillar are: A. Utilization of a comprehensive electronic urban state land management system that integrates all aspects of urban state land management, providing a centralized, efficient and transparent platform for managing land-related data, transactions and services. B. Undertake a comprehensive digitization initiative to convert all manual documents related to urban state land management into digital formats, creating a centralized and easily accessible digital repository. C. Implementation of automation technologies to streamline and optimize land management processes, reducing manual interventions and enhancing operational efficiency. And D. Introduction of secure tenure documents and permits with advanced security features. Securitization of land ownership documents. In order to combat the spread of fake and fraudulent land ownership documents, the Ministry is proposing a raft of strategies, key among them the Urban Land Information Management System and securitization tenure documents. The following documents were identified under the securitization process. 1. Title deeds. 2. Lease agreement with option to purchase. 3. Lease agreement terminable. 4. Offer letters. 5. Memorandum of understandings or memorandum of agreements. 6. Planning instruction or authority. 7. Survey instructions. 8. Certificate of compliance. Features of the lease agreement are as follows. 1. Hologram feature. 2. Variable barcode. 3. Security paper with watermark. 4. Setters QR code. 5. Fluorescent silver ink. 6. Relief background pattern. 7. Invisible fluorescent ink.
This is Newsplus, and we're coming to you live from Harare this evening. Now, as we give you our top stories, here's one we've been following closely, a rather disturbing one. Police have launched a manhunt for a tout, commonly known as Mawindi, who allegedly raped a 13-year-old grade 7 student at Rizende Kombi Rank in Harare. National Police spokesperson Commissioner Ponyati said the law will take its course. He also spoke on the operation against touts, which has seen about 14,686 arrested nationwide since the beginning of the year.
Along Zende Street when this 13-year-old minor was allegedly on board going home when she was approached by the suspect who had to be identified, who then sexually abused her and went away. We want to assure the public that it's only a matter of time before the suspect is arrested and the law will take its course without fear or fear.
Now, in response to this case and other harassment incidents, the Zimbabwe Republic Police has urged commuter omnibus owners to refrain from collaborating with touts in order to ensure the safety and well-being of passengers.
We are also imploring the combi operators, the combi owners. We have had engagements with them at various platforms where we have said public service vehicle operators should not employ the so-called touts or wind. They should not engage them. People should be free, the traveling public, to board a vehicle of their own choice. They know where they are going, they know where they are coming from, so no one should force them to board a particular vehicle. And we will ensure that the law is applied to the latter.
And in other news, Zimbabwe's solid waste generation reached a new peak last year at 66,841.9 metric tons, the highest figure ever recorded in the country's history. Now, this was an increase from 54,857.2 metric tons of waste recorded in 2023. Now, this came out in the latest environmental statistics report that was released by the Zimbabwe National Statistics Agency earlier today. Zimstat's Agriculture and Environment Statistics Manager Nelson Mfugami speaks.
We are presenting in terms of the waste generation, that is the urban solid waste in tons, which are regularly collected and discharged in metric tons. So in 2024, we've seen that is the year which recorded the highest quantity of solid waste deposited. That is at 66,841.9 metric tons. We also on waste generation, we've also collected data from the Environmental Management Agency, that is in their studies which they do.
Now, this report also indicates that Zimbabwe's average rainfall has been on a gradual downfall streak in the last few years. Zimbabwe has been experiencing severe climate change impact, including droughts, floods, and storms.
For the rainfall, which I have just picked, this graph reveals that there's a gradual but consistent decline in average seasonal rainfall over time. So I've just selected the annual average rainfall. In our presentations for the detailed report, you will find that we have some monthly rainfall for these particular years.
Moving on, the Zimbabwe Independent Complaints Commission has become the latest institution to sign an integrity pledge facilitated by the Zimbabwe Anti-Corruption Commission. Now, the move is part of a broader national strategy to entrench a culture of transparency and accountability within public institutions. More details from our correspondent, Talent Gore.
Speaking during the signing ceremony, ZICC Chairperson Justice Webster Chinamora says signing integrity pledges speaks to dedication to the principles of transparency, accountability, and ethical conduct that form the bedrock of the achievement of zero tolerance to corruption. He says the integrity pledge is a declaration that ZICC will be not just an oversight body, but a fortress of ethical resistance against impunity and institutional decay.
Corruption in all its insidious forms is not only a governance deficit, it is a human rights violation. It denies citizens a fair access to justice, it dilutes institutional legitimacy, and it erodes public trust.
Justice Chinamora says the National Development Strategy 1 identifies strong institutions and good governance as critical enablers of Vision 2030.
Let us be clear, there cannot be Vision 2030 in the absence of ethical enablers to carry it forward. ZIC must be the trailblazer of that ethical leadership.
ZAC Commissioner Chido Madiwa says corruption in public institutions is a poison that undermines the foundations of economic growth, development, social progress, and highest level of betrayal of the public trust.
We are glad that the ZIC does not condone corruption, fully cooperates with investigations, and today's move to embrace integrity as an institutional virtue speaks to the character and commitment of the organization.
The Zimbabwe Independent Complaint Commission is mandated with investigating complaints against members of the security service and ensuring remedies for harm caused. And by signing these integrity pledges, the Commission showed its commitment to implement the anti-corruption strategy launched by President Mnangagwa on July 11, 2020. Reporting for ZTN Prime, I am Talent Gori in Harare.
Now, 4 of the 7 artificial intelligence-powered silos at the recently opened Kwekwe Silo Depot are already full, holding over 32,000 tons of maize as the country's ambitious silo modernization and grain expansion project takes shape. The Midlands facility was launched by President Emmerson Mnangagwa in May and is one of the 14 depots being built or upgraded nationwide. Our correspondent Thesias Shambari gives us more.
With a capacity of 56,000 tons, the Kwekwe AI-powered silo depot is already holding more than 32,000 tons from maize from early harvests.
Already 4 out of 7 of those grain silos are actually full. That really translates to something pretty much above 32,000 metric tons of grain that has been delivered to Kwekwe Depot.
The smart silos use Internet of Things sensors to control temperature, humidity and aeration and detect pests in real time, reducing spoilage and cutting post-harvest losses. In Mutare, a similar AI-powered depot is now 95% complete and is expected to take its first winter wheat intake this season. Its location near the Mozambique border will position it as a strategic export hub under the African Continental Free Trade Area.
The bringing in of the AfCTCA Free Trade Area, that is our gateway to exporting grain as, a bread basket of Africa that we used to be.
Meanwhile, agricultural officials say the winter wheat crop is looking strong across the country.
So, countrywide, the wheat is also looking very good. Currently at elongation stage to booting, and some of the wheat already are at soft dough stage like this.
To safeguard the projected bumper harvest of over 600,000 tons, the government is ready to deploy drones, aircraft and traditional methods against quillia birds.
We are ready from the ground force to drones and to air force. We're able to be controlling all the quillia birds that can pose a problem to our winter wheat.
The silo modernization and grain expansion project began in 2022 with a target of doubling the national strategic grain reserve to 1.5 million tons by 2028. From smart storage to export-ready hubs, government says this investment is crucial for food security, export growth, and farmers' incomes. Reporting for ZTN Prime in Harare, I'm Thesias Shambari.
Now, the government of Zimbabwe is stepping up efforts to enhance disaster preparedness and response through partnering with private players and development partners to simulate and formulate guidelines for disaster and risk management. Now, officials from government, private players and development partners are currently in Kadoma for a 2-day workshop that ends tomorrow. This comes after over 178,000 Zimbabweans may be affected by deportations from South Africa if the cancellation proceeds. Now, Masvingo and Harare are expected to receive the majority of returnees.
Disasters in Zimbabwe are in a multi-hazard nature, and they do not have boundaries between urban and rural. We are all affected in the same way. 1,598 wards, and then we have the 92 local authorities, the 60 districts, the 10 provinces. Both have characteristics of being urban and on the other side being rural. So here we have a structure that represents the urban and the rural fraternity, and we need to embrace a whole of government approach into this planning, where we incorporate matters that are for urban and the matters that are for rural.
Stay tuned to Newsplus for some global updates.
This is a people's game. They will be bubbling about this one for weeks and months to come. Let's go!
Wherever you are, whatever your reason, it's on SuperSport all season long. Reconnect and stay connected to DSTV Compact and get the best football on us.
Two fans, one game. One of them paid for quality, the other didn't. ZTM Prime now offers premium live Premier Soccer League matches behind a paywall. Skip the stress. Watch your team in high definition, uninterrupted and in real time. ZTM Prime are paywall matches because real fans watch live.
Welcome back. Thank you for staying connected. You're watching Tuesday's edition of Newsplus. Now, with a 30% US tariff on South African exports set to take effect this Friday, the South African government says it will continue engaging with the United States to secure a trade deal that serves both nations' interests. South Africa seeks to conclude deals that promote value addition and industrialization rather than extractive relations that deprive the country of the ability to benefit from its mineral wealth.
It is not out of cowardice that we have refrained from responding even under very extreme provocation. We are talking about the livelihoods and jobs of people that are at stake. Our relationship also with the US remaining very important at a mutual beneficial relationship that must be mutually respectful and beneficial.
And in other global news, the United Nations Refugee Agency, UNHCR, says Uganda is running out of funds to support its efforts in hosting a rising number of refugees. The East African country is already home to 1.93 million refugees due to the escalating crises in Sudan, South Sudan, and the Democratic Republic of Congo, with over half of them under the age of 18. Now, Uganda's progressive refugee policy allows refugees to live, work, and access public services, but funding shortfalls are drastically impacting aid delivery and threaten to undo years of progress. In 2025, the average cost of aid per refugee is about $16 a week. However, with current resources, only $5 can be spared for each person. And still on our global updates, a searing heat wave which is gripping much of Spain has seen many cultural venues in the capital, Madrid, transform into temporary reset areas, allowing residents to escape the worst of the sizzling temperatures and seek some respite indoors. Now, while people have been advised to stay indoors, outdoors workers in Madrid, such as postal workers, delivery men and traffic police, find it difficult to avoid the raging daytime temperatures and can only take measures to protect themselves.
Sobre todo esta semana tenemos una ola de calor fuertísima en Madrid. Estamos llegando a temperaturas de 38 a 40 grados. Las tardes, sobre todo de los fines de semana, que es cuando tenemos un pico más alto de visitas, estamos entre 1,000 y 1,200 personas. Y bueno, pues es un número que refleja que el refugio climático es una necesidad vigente de la ciudad.
Meanwhile, scorching heat and a crippling drought are threatening Iraqi farmers with unprecedented hardship as temperatures regularly soar above 50 degrees Celsius. Now, recent official data has shown at least 5 Iraqi cities ranking among the world's hottest cities every day. Iraq's Ministry of Agriculture has ordered a major reduction in cultivated areas during this summer's planting season, a clear indicator that extreme weather now threatens both environmental stability and food security.
العوامل اللي تساعد على تقليل درجات الحرارة بالعراق ربما هي معروفة لأبسط مواطن عراقي ممكن أن يشخصها، يعني تقليل انبعاثات العوادم، السيارات، المولدات، أيضا زيادة الإطلاقات المائية من قبل دول متشاطئة مع العراق، أيضا والأهم هو تكثيف الغطاء الأخضر.
And still in the Middle East, officials from the International Atomic Energy Agency will visit Iran within the next 10 days, and both sides will conduct negotiations over their future cooperation framework. This was said by Iranian Foreign Ministry spokesman Ismail Baghei. Now, Baghei said Iran has suspended its cooperation with the UN nuclear watchdog, and no IAEA inspectors are currently operating in the country.
برای اولین بار در طول تاریخ آژانس بین‌المللی انرژی اتمی تأسیسات در حال فعالیت یک کشور عضو معاهده منع اشاعه، تأسیساتی که 24 ساعته تحت نظر آژانس بوده، مورد حمله غیرقانونی دو رژیم مجهز به سلاح هسته‌ای قرار گرفته. ضمن اینکه آژانس هم متاسفانه در این روند بی‌طرف نماند، نه اینکه بی‌طرف نماند، به مسئولیت‌های خودش عمل نکرد، محکوم نکرد. ما منتظر هستیم که این دیدار انجام بشه.
Those were the global updates we had for you, but still to come on Newsplus in Business. Matt South farmers urged to adopt smart agric market-led production.
Got some questions about Showmax? Well, we've got the answers. What is Showmax? Showmax is not a TV channel. It's a streaming service with tons of hit series, movies, and more. Plus, Premier League live on mobile. Just pick what you want and hit play. No schedule or airing times. With Showmax, you watch what you want, when you want, and where you want. For any other queries, find us on Facebook, X, Instagram, or TikTok.
Harare. Tune into the beat.
Capitalk 100.4 FM, your source for news, business, sports, fashion, and more.
Experience the pulse of Harare's culture and lifestyle.
Capitalk 100.4 FM, Harare's top radio station.
Join the conversation with Zimbabwe's top personalities.
Subscribe now for fresh and infotainment content daily.
Capital 100.4 FM, Harare's heartbeat.
You are still watching Newsplus right here on ZTN Prime, and it's time now to take a look at what's happening in the world of business. The Procurement Regulatory Authority of Zimbabwe has called on professionals in the industry to embrace innovation and maintain ethical standards to ensure long-term value delivery. Speaking on the sidelines of the 4th Annual Public Procurement Symposium, PARZ Communications Manager Mr. Mqele Chuma emphasized the importance of the profession evolving to meet modern-day challenges, ultimately contributing to the country's economic growth and development.
As a result of this particular gathering, we managed to discuss quite a lot of issues that included modern methods of procurement, which include electronic means. And with that, we also managed to look at how we can then manage to monitor and evaluate some of the procurement processes that we are talking about in the country, and also look at some of the ways that we can also manage around how we can also make sure that procurement as a profession is always enhanced. Some of those things will obviously include continuous aspects of improved understanding on procurement processes, including electronic government procurement, including procurement methods, amongst other interesting and inspirational issues. So also with that in mind, we had quite a lot of presenters who came through. They gave us quite expert presentations, which were more on the better side in terms of talking to the people who were here as they were junior procurement professionals, most of them.
He, however, expressed concern over corruption in the sector and revealed that PRAZ is working with the National Prosecuting Authority and the Zimbabwe Anti-Corruption Commission to close loopholes that enable unethical conduct.
We work with NPA, we work closer with ZAC, and we also are in a position to be having confidential information that then they may need as to how they may appreciate how the procurement processes were done in line with the Public Procurement and Disposal of Public Assets Act. So in that particular regard, you find that ourselves, we are saying it takes two to tango. And we are saying as much as there are negotiations, there are soft skills that people need to appreciate and have closer, but the relationship should not go beyond the ordinary and go beyond what compliance issues have to matter on. So we are in a position to say, yes, we are dealing with corruption, but we are dealing with it from what has already been stipulated, and these government bodies that we are in partnership with are always coming in handy to then make sure that they bring the issues of corruption to finality as per the evidence that comes through from PRAZ.
In other news, Zimbabwe's government has urged Matabeleland South farmers to adopt smart agriculture methods and market-led production to boost profitability. It emphasized aligning production with market demand, using techniques like drip irrigation and taking farming as a business.
Panapa taona kuti pari kufamba zvakanaka. Vane drip irrigation system, which is an improved system irrigation. Chavari kungoda iko zvino ndechekuti dai vawana mari kuti vawedzere mabhoho avo. Pari zvino pane mamwe mahekta asiri kudiridzika nemhaka yemvura shoma, asi vakawana mari yatati isusu aiwa takuvabatanidza nebhengi reAFC kuti bhengi reAFC rikauya pano vakaona zvavari kuita rinogona kuona kuti rovabatsira sei kuti vawane mari iyoyo, uyewo kuti nzvimbo yavo vagoifenza. Vakaifenza zvakanaka zvinoita kuti macrops avo asazokanganisika.
Now, Zimbabwe has signed the Multilateral Convention on Mutual Administrative Assistance in Tax Matters to combat tax evasion and improve international tax cooperation. The agreement allows Zimbabwe to exchange tax information with over 150 jurisdictions, expanding its current 19 bilateral agreements, and ratification is expected by August 31, 2025. Now, still on business, private players in the real estate sector are now contributing significantly to the tourism and hospitality industry, with a major investment of $30 million set to take shape in Mount Darwin, Mashonaland Central. The investment also speaks to the country's target to reduce the national housing backlog.
About 210 kilometers from Harare in Mashonaland Central Province, a new holiday resort, Chesa Wildlife Resort, is blossoming. At this resort, a unique blend of housing provision and tourism is taking shape in a unique manner.
It's a very culturally oriented, first of its kind holiday resort project for Zimbabwe. With a lot of these projects, you will find they're very singular in what attracts people. It's mountains, it's a game park, it's this and that. But we're bringing an animal reserve, conferencing centers, big theme park. We're talking roller coasters, water parks, and all of that.
Upon completion, the project will provide homes to many and a unique holidaying experience for quite a number. This unique project comes at a time when the government has launched the new tourism and hospitality policy, which promotes development of new tourism products.
This is the launch of the tourism and hospitality industry policy. It's very momentous as it signals the beginning of a new chapter in our collective journey to transform and elevate Zimbabwe's tourism sector.
Tourism is often seen as significantly impacting housing markets, leading to increased demand. This is due to factors such as increased population and employment opportunities.
But we're bringing an animal reserve, conferencing centers, big theme park. We're talking roller coasters, water parks, and all of that, as well as holiday accommodation in a beautiful, very, very scenic place in Chesa Mount Down.
In a move aimed at protecting consumers from the risk of losing their investments in long-term housing plans, the company has engaged Old Mutual to provide insurance coverage for its clients.
Because of the tenure of our deals that we offer to people, it's over 10 years, so people will worry. People fall sick, people lose jobs, people get into accidents and all of that. But we have arranged something with Old Mutual such that people pay their premiums. Something should happen to them, unfortunately, Old Mutual will cover that.
The real estate company is also eyeing projects in Marondera, the development of gated communities, which are expected to bring relief to many home seekers.
One project out in Marondera that is very, very affordable. We're looking at around $200 per month for a tenure of 10 years for people to acquire a stand within a gated estate. So what they're getting is a stand in a very secure environment.
With a national housing backlog of over 1 million, this has left many home seekers vulnerable to bogus land barons. Companies such as MCM are coming to assist government's efforts to reduce the backlog. For ZTM Prime, I am Setachisiwe Gwaza.
Now that real estate story wraps up what we had for you on the economic landscape. Newsplus will be right back.
Good evening and welcome to the greatest show on earth. This is a people's game. They will be bubbling about this one for weeks and months to come. Let's go! Lights, camera, action. Put your mind to it, look like the truth.
Wherever you are, whatever your reason, it's on SuperSport all season long. Reconnect and stay connected to DSTV Compact and get the best football on us.
Revolutionary singer Chief Wenje firmly believes that nothing beats loyalty and patriotism, especially with this year's Heroes Musical Gala set to take place at Kujeke Growth Point on August 12 in Wedza, Mashonaland East Province. Born Admire Sanyanga Sbanda, the energetic performer has been a regular at state functions, and he eagerly anticipates showcasing his talent in Wedza next week. As a regular performer at national events, Wenje feels honored by this consistent recognition. Now, fellow musicians such as Simon Mutambi, Mark Ngwazi, Andy Muridzo, and Tendai Dembo are set to participate at the Heroes Gala. Now, popular gospel singer CeCe Winans will be coming to Zimbabwe on the 26th of August on a tour and will be performing at Celebration Center alongside Bonnie Dushel and Celebration Choir. Excitement for her concert is building up in Christian circles, and here's a message she has sent out.
Hey Harari, it's CeCe Winans, and I can't wait to be coming your way on August 26th. Hey, give them all the honor. All together worthy. Who we talking about? That's right. It's going to be a powerful night of worship. You won't want to miss it. Get your tickets now at ccwinans.com.
And still on entertainment, the iconic computer game Pac-Man is celebrating its 45th birthday this year. The yellow eating machine revolutionized video games and has even been seen in science. Now, Pac-Man is the most successful coin-triggered arcade game of all time, according to the Guinness Book of World Records. The character remains an enduring symbol even today, with the franchise having generated an estimated $14 billion in revenue from both arcade machines and dozens of re-releases on home consoles. Now, the games have appeared on everything from the Nintendo Entertainment System to the Xbox 360, and Pac-Man has also racked up awareness, boosting cameos over recent years in big-budget animated kids films, including Wreck-It Ralph 2012 and Pixels 2015. Now, coming up is sport. The draw for the 2025 CAF Under-17 AFCON COSAFA qualifier was held in Johannesburg, South Africa, today, with Zimbabwe in Group A along with Mozambique. Now, 12 teams are taking part, with regional powerhouses Zambia and South Africa in Group B, along with Madagascar and Malawi in what looks like a group of death. Group C has last year's beaten finalists Angola, Botswana, Mauritius and Lesotho. Now, Zimbabwe are the hosts, with matches being played at Hart Stadium in Harare and Ngoni Stadium in Norton from the 11th to the 20th of next month. Now, 15th place Triangle United have had a decent run as they seek better fortunes and to move away from the relegation zone. Team captain Thabani Kamsoko has played a key role, as his experience has helped the team stay calm despite being in the relegation zone for the greater part of the season. We get more in the following report.
Thabani Kamsoko's experience was the backbone of Triangle United's promotion back into the top flight, with his leadership helping in the Sugar Boys' quest to return to elite competition. Now, with 24 games played and only 25 points on the board, Triangle sits 15th and risk an early return to Division 1. The team needs at least an additional 15 points to secure survival with 10 matches to go. Currently on an 11-match unbeaten run, Kamsoko says it's in their hands to pull off a great escape, but they must turn their draws into wins, having only won 3 in their stretch.
Experience in Batsira and I'm not the only one in experience, but also Ali Sadiq is there. So we are pushing each other to help these youngsters. And the Tikatarasapatiri Palogu, we are at a better position, but we need to keep on working hard to make sure that we grind good results.
As a veteran of many battles, Kamsoko's called on his teammates to maintain focus in their home stretch and avoid disappointment.
First and foremost, it's very important to maintain, but the only thing that we need to keep doing is to make sure that we don't lose focus. We have to keep on pushing so that we Panopera season, at least we will be in a better position.
Kamsoko's long journey in professional football has been fueled by faith, and he knows it is time once more to turn to a trusted path.
Secret yajo ipanda commitment, and you have to keep focused. Whether things are moving, whether things are not moving, you just have to keep focused and have faith and keep working hard.
The midfielder's career has taken him to Zambia, Tanzania and the Soccer Stars calendar and other milestones, and Kamsoko wants to bring the curtain down at home by passing on the torch to the next generation.
Kwakakosha sterek because ndo kwatakatangira kuti tisvike patakasvika, saka and the foot as well kudzoka kunoku, we need to try and help my youngsters so that vazive kuti bhora rinoda zvakaita sei kuitira kuti tigone kusvika kure nebhora.
Triangle will shift focus from survival to the Chibuku Super Cup, facing Kwekwe United in a preliminary clash and hoping for a much-needed spark in the challenging season.
A long effort. Oh, what a fantastic goal that is! What a fantastic goal!
Now, the football landscape in Zimbabwe continues to evolve, with more investment and resources going towards upcoming generations. In the following report, we look at the role football academies play in identifying, nurturing and launching careers of young players. The boom of football academies in Zimbabwe points at a clear demand for nurturing young talent. Most football success now stems from a training-driven approach as opposed to talent-driven due to the advancement of sports science. In Spain, La Masia of Barcelona is credited for its unique tiki-taka brand of football, which at some point became the envy of many. In the Netherlands, Ajax has a conveyor belt specializing in a playing style called total football. All this requires a deliberate strategy to identify and nurture rough diamonds, a comprehensive round-the-clock schedule which encompasses training, diet, and lifestyle.
Youth sport academies are a very critical phase in the process of development of sport because they provide the first stage in which talent is professionally and organizationally identified.
And fair support from the voices responsible for the wellness.
As coaches, we have a huge responsibility. We have that responsibility of being patient. We have the responsibility of instilling values in the players, leading by example, being honest with players, even honest about what their capabilities are, promoting fair play, and creating a place where the players feel that they can come to the coaches even beyond the field.
As seen in the Moses Chunga KidsNet project, at the turn of the millennium, the junior football scene aligns closely with school sports.
The matches they will be playing, there should not be more of matches where you say, we want a win, we want a win. Although a win becomes a bonus, but what is key is, are they really implementing what they could have learned?
For young footballers like Tatenda Maulidi, who has made the Region 5 Under-20 Zimbabwe national team, the match starts way before the whistle, with many stages to go through, turning the dream into a reality.
Ndakatanga kutamba bhora handichiri mudiki tengotambo street football tichigadzira chikweshe chemapepa tiri kufa kwese kugeto. Saka ndasvika paage ye11 ndopa ndakazojoina Legends ndotarisira kutamba Premier League ndoshuwirawo kuenda kuEverton.
And some of Zim's biggest footballing names have a traceable development pathway from junior circles to stardom, like Marvelous Nakamba, Marshall Munetsi, Peter Ndlovu, Kama Billiard, and the Musona brothers. Now, while some play for recreational purposes, all these players and the academies that contributed to their wholeness have a story to tell.
We're glad to say that we have that history, and it's something that we're always happy to have in our archives. And, you know, we always wish that everyone who chooses to be a soccer player makes it somehow. It may not be on the big stage, but, you know, at least they have something, some kind of story to fall back on.
However, the surge in academy development has also raised concerns on authenticity and responsibility of protecting and managing talent wisely. So ZIFA authorities maintain their open door policy for guidance when it comes to academy regulations. The goal remains the same, investing in little kids that are passionate about football and not only giving them the chance to dream, but an opportunity to actually live that dream. Wazanai Sansoleze, Tiempan. Now, the Zimbabwe Chess Federation hosted a send-off ceremony for the Under-16 chess team, which is set to make a debut appearance at the World Youth Under-16 Chess Olympiad 2025 that's set to be played in the Colombia from the 16th to the 23rd of this month. Team Zimbabwe is made up of highest-ranked Under-16 player Amith Bodapati, national Under-16 champions Danmo Mashawa and Carol Ndlovu, Amira Jain, who comes in as the wild card, and team captain Tapiwa Gora, who are eager to leave a mark as they go up against over 35 countries.
It's going to be my first team tournament that I'm participating outside the country, as it's an Olympiad and it's the first time that Zim is sending a country. So I believe that the team can do very well, and yeah, we will have a lot of fun and we will learn a lot about the game from this new experience. But I'm going to try my best to do my best and to raise the country's flag very high.
Tournament is an experience to see what you
as the national champion, I ought to do well, and I hope that we can excel, our team can excel. I'll try to do my best. They should expect more, because I ought to do more.
And that's a wrap on Tuesday's edition of Newsplus. Thank you very much for tuning in. I'm Wadzanai Sansole. Have a good night.